Right,
But yeah,
should we do some quick predictions for the season? Oh, Mark looks so disappointed. Go on, Jonathan. Where are United going to finish this year after game one? Your personal opinion.
If they continue playing the way like they played today and treat the next 37 league games like 37 finals, which I have a feeling that they will because it's such a short season, they've got to put everything into the Premier League this year, then I think there's no reason why we can't finish top eight and push for Europa League spots. If a lot of things go our way, we could definitely get Champions League. But look, I'm not even thinking about that. I just want to get some respectability back in the club. I'm sick of being a banter club in the Premier League. I want some respect again. I want us to be winning games. I want us to be scoring goals. I want to be enjoying watching the team. I enjoyed watching United again today. I just all it was missing was a goal just to cap the performance. So I think we can get top eight, and then we've got a target. Obviously, the cup competitions then as well. I know Mark was saying there. He thinks you might see the likes of Fredrickson and Heaton play against Grimsby. I would disagree. I think he's going to go strong in all the cup competitions because he has to. The last time we were in this situation, Van Gaal made wholesale changes at MK Dons, and we all know how that ended. So he can't afford to take those chances. We don't really need. I know it's 3 games in 7 or 8 days, because of the Premier League games as well. But I think he's just got to go strong. He's got to roll the dice and just go strong. I think we've got a squad there. We can make a few changes and still be strong enough to beat the likes of Grimsby. So yeah, I think we can finish top eight if we maintain the energy and athleticism of today and the hunger of today. And we start sort of scoring some goals. I don't think there's any reason why we can't finish in the top eight for sure.
All right, Mark. What about you?
I've been saying since we brought in Cunha and then Burma, once we got them over the thing, I think it's Conference League and above. I think if you're bringing in that many people, and then I said a striker at the time, I thought Gyökeres would be our striker, that's why it's hilarious about his performance. Yeah, I think Conference League. I do agree with you about targeting the cups because it's a guaranteed lifeline back into Europe. I think we can still put out a strong team by rotating. Our substitutes today: Xerxes, Heaven, Mainu, Ugarte, Fredrickson, Diallo, Tom Heaton, Sesko, and Maguire. So if you rotate them around, that's still quite a strong starting 11, isn't it? Even if you took half of the team off. But you're right, you lose the consistency of what you might be trying to build. But yeah, I think I'll be happy. I would be happy with Conference League qualification, or above, and Carabao Cup. Because let's be fair, Carabao Cup is the easiest cup to target because most teams will rotate.
Mm-hmm.
But the Carabao Cup doesn't give you European football, does it?
Does.
Gives you a Conference League spot.
No, because you can only have one team in the Conference League.
Bear with, call up.
I think they took that spot away from, and that's how they've fucked around with all the European spots.
Maybe they did. Yeah, it used to definitely be a European spot, but they might have changed it.
So if that is the case, it's a trophy, but it's not worth targeting. You go all out in the FA Cup, which also means that's Saturday football, so you don't actually affect your one game a week unless you get a replay.
The Carabao Cup winner receives £100,000 as prize money. Additionally, the champions earn a spot in the Europa Conference League playoff round.
Oh.
So you get a playoff round. Newcastle won the Conference League, didn't they? Newcastle won the Carabao Cup and got Champions League football, which then meant it passed on, didn't it?
Normally, you can see why, because normally whoever wins the Carabao Cup is probably already in a European competition because we get so many places as it is. Maybe that's what I was thinking. So yeah, so come on, you've got to target one trophy. I know that sounds bad because you should try and win every game. But in a rebuild, you've got to guarantee that European football for next season to keep rebuilding, haven't you?
Yeah. No, I would 100% agree. I've said with the signings we've made now, even without a goalkeeper, I think easily it's a Conference League spot without question. Because you're looking at The top four is now featuring 7 teams that could easily get into top four football.
Yeah.
You've got Liverpool pretty much nailed on. City, Arsenal, Chelsea are probably the go-to top four. Then you're adding in people like Villa and Newcastle who got close, and then you're adding in you've got the like
Brighton.
Brighton, they're pushing. So we're in that mix of the sort of like not the Newcastle Villa. We're in the sort of ones like Forest, Brighton, Palace. The ones that are now pushing a bit further up the table because we have to remember everyone watching now. You have to remember where we finished and how abysmal we were in the league last year.
Yeah.
It sugarcoated the fact that we got to a European final. How bad it really was. It became unbearable.
Hmm.
So if we get, I've said top 10 Europa League conference spot, I'll take that, and a good cup run in the FA Cup. And I agree with you, Mark. I don't think the Carabao Cup is too difficult a trophy to target. It's not going to bring us money. It's not going to bring us fortunes and fames, but it gives you. Who else has won it? We had.
It's a backup plan.
It's a backup plan.
Backup plan. That's the thing. You've got right now. We are in a position, as you just said, we should never have been in 15th. We were Manchester United. We should never have been down there last season, but we were. We have now got to come back from that, and we need Plan A, we need Plan B, and fuck me, we probably even need a Plan C.
I have a question to both of you. If we finish, let's say we finish 9th and we win nothing, are you happy?
It depends on the performances. If we finish ninth and we've been playing all season very close to the standard we've seen today, then I will be happy to continue to back Amram because I remember looking at Klopp and thinking he was doing well, but there was still so many holes. And then there was a summer where they brought in Allison and they brought in Fabinho, and all of a sudden they looked like a different team with just
Went
two
levels
signings.
and they
Yeah,
jumped.
the people mentioned Van Dijk, and don't get me wrong, Van Dijk was a transformative signing for that Klopp team, but people forget that summer when they bought Fabinho and Allison, it just completely transformed them, and that's why if we did finish ninth and those positive signs were still there that we saw today, and there was a clear plan and direction, yeah, I think most proper football fans, proper Man United fans will be happy to say, right, no, he deserves another season. Bring in a couple of midfielders, bring in a proper goalkeeper if we haven't done already, and let's keep this process going because we're almost there. We've taken a step up the table. Now is the big drive for the Champions League and maybe competing for the Premier League title as well. But yeah, certainly, I wouldn't be happy if we finished ninth and we've transcended back into the shit we saw last year. Absolutely not. No. But if we play something similar to what we've seen today, then I'd have no issue with finishing ninth. I hope we don't finish ninth. I hope we finish higher, but I'd have no issue finishing ninth.
You got to realise, I totally echo what Jonathan just said, because if you say the top four is nailed on almost, or the top three are nailed on, fourth and fifth are fought out maybe between 3 teams on paper, would be Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa. But Villa look like they're going to have a drop off. Newcastle look like they're going to have a drop off. If
We forget
it's
about Tottenham
true
as
that
well.
Eze was saying goodbye to the Palace fans today when I saw him come off that pitch, and that they lose him, Palace are going to drop off. Brighton didn't look all that, they obviously might drop off. So yeah, that's when you become, hang on, if their levels are dropping and we're below them, then that's bad. But that's where we've got to exploit it, and that's why I'm thinking we go back up the table. It's about the other teams just as much as it's about us. You don't want to. Do you remember when Klopp came in? He was beating us, Newcastle, not Newcastle then, but us, Chelsea, Man City, and then losing to the Southamptons and shit like that down the bottom of the league.
Yeah.
That's what we can't be doing.
Yeah.
We have to have got, I don't know, 60 points off the bottom 10. Yeah, I think that's what I'm expecting this season. 60 points off the bottom 10 teams come the end of the season. And if you've done that and you've got all your other games, you're guaranteed European football.
Also, on the back of today's game, at least there is definitely going to be a different media because, United have had a really bad outlook from the media point of view for last season. Rightfully so, admittedly. United were poor last season. We can all agree with that. But we're definitely going to see a change in mentality towards United in the papers and on radio tomorrow of,
Do you think?
Arsenal.
I don't.
100%. I think so. I think
I
you're
see
going
it.
to
I
get.
see it, Nathan. I see it. It's Talk Sports. I know you listen to it. I
Mhm.
see it being United weren't good. Arsenal were that bad, and they managed to win. That's what I think the narrative will be. And I
Fair
still don't
point.
see a clear pattern, style of play for Man United. I guarantee you, that's what I'm
No,
going with.
I can see that, but I would like to imagine. I can see that for sure from certain. I think there's probably a few that we could probably name off the top of our heads that will push that narrative. But there is also, I think, a select few that will go, no, Arsenal were bad, but United were good, and it was unfortunate that and I think a lot of them will pick up the point that there wasn't a striker on that pitch in the first half,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think that's
I agree with you. I agree, as in that's how it should be looked at. I just don't think the narrative changes till we've
maybe
played
I'm giving the media too much of a
3 or 4 games. You got to think we play Burnley next. Oh, Fulham, then Burnley and Grimsby in between that three. What we say winnable games, yeah. But then that next game is City. If I'm right, I think it's City.
Hmm.
So we're straight back in the mixing pot again, and it's about City looked dangerous yesterday. So how bad are Burnley? If City put 4 past them, we need to be putting 2 or 3 past them. Yeah.
Oh, was there an international break in the first week of September?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
what
We
a
have got
bastard.
like 2 September and then October/November, I think.
Yeah, we've got
Hmm.
no game the first week of September, and then we play City on the 14th of September.
Yeah.
So we're looking at, let's be realistic, we're looking at, or I say realistic, from our point of view, we're looking at 6 points from 2 games, or from 3 games, and the next round of the Carabao Cup in the next 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, and we all would have taken that at the start of the season. I know I said I thought we could beat Arsenal, and let's be fair, I'm not entirely wrong, but it just didn't happen.
Hmm.
But I would take 6 points from 3 games
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
the 6 points come from the teams you have to beat. There are no excuses. You have to beat those teams.
yeah, yeah. And good, decent performances. I think we'll all accept that. Who's your top goal scorer going to be this year, Mark?
What for United? All these
Yeah,
are based on United.
yeah. All these are based on United. Yeah, you can do a Premier League Golden Boot as well if you want. Let's chuck that in there as well. Why not?
I think Haaland takes the golden boot again. I think City come back this year.
Just to let you know, I am writing these down, so we'll reflect on these at the end of the year.
For United, I'm going to go with Burmo. I think he scores more than Sesko or Cunha. But I think there's a decent tally between all 3 of them put together, I think.
Jonathan?
I agree with the Haaland prediction. I can't, if he stays fit, there's no one going to beat him in the top goal scorer chart, I don't think. From a United point of view, I'm going to back Sheshko. I think he might hit. I think 14 or 15 goals will be the top scorer for Man United. I don't think he'll be anything sensational. So I think Sheshko, I'd fancy him to get 14, 15 goals. I think he'll be our top scorer.
If we play like we did today and he's up front, I can see him scoring 20.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
I can see it, but I don't believe that other players won't start taking more shots in games after
Hmm.
he's scored. And that's my fear. I still have that big fear, Nathan, from last season that people go, no, I want my goal. I want to score. I want to score. Because I
Yeah.
still think we play like a bunch of kids in that respect.
No, I agree. I'm going slightly different. I'm going Cunha.
Oh, fucking, let's take the front 3 then, right?
Yeah, yeah. Might as well. One of us is bound to be right, unless Bruno starts chipping in. But no, I'm going to go. I'm going to go Cunha.
If Bruno wins it, I'm not counting it from penalty if it's all on penalties.
No, that's not how this works. No, if Haaland gets Premier League Golden Boot, you're taking it though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I would be still pissed off at your penalty, your top goal scorers because of penalties, and it's not one of the front 3. I said that before, didn't I? I don't get it. It doesn't happen in most professional football clubs that your striker doesn't take your penalties.
Yeah. Finally, I think we'll finish on this. Teams to go down. I'll give you mine straight away. I think it's Brentford. I think they're really going to struggle losing their captain, their goalkeeper, and their manager. So I think,
Striker.
and obviously, and their top striker, and the likelihood that Johan Wissa is going to be out the door as well. I think they're losing their spine and their core of the team. I think Leeds. I think there's been a lot made about Leeds that they're going to come up and do really well. I think they'll lose tomorrow night to Everton. Honestly, I think Everton have got a lot more about them this year, and I think Leeds are just they're gonna crumble, unfortunately. And I think Burnley are going to be found out. Unfortunately, I like Burnley as a club. It's sort of like your old school proper football club. But I think Scott Parker, as much as he's a good manager, you can't play the same way that you played in the Championship in the Premier League.
No.
He got sacked for doing that last time.
Exactly, and they've lost James Trafford, so I'll be surprised if they manage to stay up. But I think Sunderland are in with a really, really good shout. Really good performance at home yesterday.
Oh, it's a great game.
Great game of football. So yeah, I think Sunderland will stay up, but unfortunately, Brentford, Leeds, and Burnley for me.
Mhm.
Mark, go for it.
Me?
Yeah,
I think Burnley. I think Burnley go back down. Everything you just said about that, I think it's going to be their downfall again. I think for Sunderland to stay up, I think then it becomes 2 from 3. I think Burnley's nailed on to go back down. But then it's Leeds and a toss-up between Brentford, but who I'm going for, West Ham.
Oh, I like it. I actually heard on TalkSport this very morning a West Ham fan, and I thought I recognised that voice. And it turns out it was James Jones from the West Ham podcast, who we had on this very podcast in the FA Cup round a few months ago. So if you are listening or you're watching, James, I really liked your insight this morning on the Premier League on TalkSport. So it'd be great to have you back on at some
The
point.
fact they played one game and they're calling for the sacking of the manager, great.
I mean, might have been yesterday morning, might have been, but either way, then they had Baroness Karen Brady on this morning on TalkSport, and I thought, say what you like about them, but to have one of your owners come on the day after getting a 3-0 drumming against a newly promoted side, So you've gone, just to confirm, Burnley, Leeds, West Ham.
Yeah.
Right, Jonathan, finish us off.
I agree with the Burnley point. I think they're going to be similar to Southampton. I think they'll record more points, but I just think the writing's on the wall already for them. I think Brentford as well. I would agree with you, Nathan. I think they've lost a lot of experience there. Lost their captain, lost their top goal scorer. Look like they're going to lose another key goal scorer. I know they've made a record signing there from Bournemouth there today, but I just don't think they're going to have enough. So I think Brentford will go down, and I think Wolves will go down.
Okay.
They just, I don't know. I know they finished the season well last year. There's just something about them. I think they just lack something for a few seasons now, and I just think it might catch up with them this year.
Would it be their really shit goalkeeper and the fact we've taken Cunha off him at the other end?
Probably, yeah.
Because you
Yeah,
have just picked Cunha's team and Mbeumo's team, but we've both.
yeah. We just relegated 2 teams. No, I don't think West Ham will be far off. Though I would agree with Mark. I think West Ham will be closer to the relegation zone than they'd like, but I think they'll just have enough. I think they probably will end up making a change, but they'll just have enough. But yeah, those
They
are
have
my
got
two.
money in the bank, West Ham. That's the
Yeah,
only thing for them. They've got money in the bank to call on from the.
Yeah, so I think Wolves, Brentford, and Burnley to go down.
Okay, I suppose we should actually. Who's winning the Premier League?
City for me.
Mark?
Yeah. From what I saw of Liverpool and what I've seen of just one game, but like Liverpool have, there's a few issues there at the back, so I'm going City.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
I'd
if they go out and sign 4 centre backs, then Liverpool will have a good chance. But at the moment, they need to sign at least 2 more.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I'm gonna say as it currently stands, I would say City, but I would be interested to see if Liverpool sign Isaac, whether that actually happens this season or not. If
I was
Liverpool,
impressed with FTK, I'll say that.
I would, yeah, him.
Yeah. What's his name?
Yeah, Hugo. Yeah, I'll stick with City because I think it doesn't look like that is going to win. That is going to happen. The Isaac, but yeah, I think we can all agree that I think Arsenal haven't shown us anything today, especially that they're ready to become the brides and they'll just continue to be the bridesmaids.
And I look at their results as well. You know, they lose or draw with Arsenal, Tottenham, when it pre-season. Some of the games, it's just they didn't really get going. So yeah, we'll have to
Yeah,
wait and see.
wait and see. Right, great work, guys. Yeah, so I think we can all agree lots of positives to take away, and it's just let's just say it is